So I have to start the video with some really devastating news that we only received yesterday, and it's taken me a whole day to process this, and that is that our application for Eco4 grant funding for our much wanted solar installation is now not going to happen. The company who we applied through, Green Home Systems, they have been fantastic, really professional, but in the course of the survey and the follow-up visit that they did, it transpires that our house, because it was renovated some 20 odd years ago, the insulation has meant that the band that we now fall into is band C, and we are not eligible for a solar installation. If we wanted to access the grant funding, we could, of course, finance this ourselves, but I have to say, at £9,500, that is beyond our means. So sadly, we will have to shelve that, at least for the time being. We were so excited about it, the fact that we would be getting solar on the house. We fulfilled all the other criteria for that, but the house is so efficient that it's just, we're not going to be able to access the grant funding. So it's been a bit of a blow. We did hear this yesterday, and it's taken me all day today just to kind of get over the shock of the rejection for that. So, whilst on the one hand that means that we can't get solar at this moment in time, the good news, the flip side of it is that the house is very well insulated and performs very well in all the criteria. So I suppose that is something that the insulation that was done during the renovations has been up to scratch and is still, after all this time, still pretty good. So what can you do? What can you do? I'm going to look at any other funding that we can get for this, but I don't think there's any out there, certainly not in Scotland. So I'm going to try and lighten the mood now and share some other good things that have been happening here on the Isle of Arran. John has got an all clear from the doctor at the moment. He did have some tests done and we're still waiting for some results of those tests, but we're never down for long, and we still live in a wonderful place in a great little cottage. So we're going to share some good things that have happened the rest of this week. So hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope it cheers me up. The North Glen Sannox Walk is arguably one of the prettiest on the island, and if you're so inclined on a day like today, you can even have a dip. So we're here in the living room, and we are putting up short cafe length net curtains because Although we're really pleased to see our followers and, people who want to see where we live, we don't really like them peering in the windows. And I mean peering in because we've got the lane outside and people do peer. So John is putting up these net curtains. So here we go, Johnny.
No, it's just draw a little hole in them and then put the little hooks in. I've got little hooks.
Right, and let's see the bar.
The bar's just got little eyes.
So this is a twist and fit.
Then we can put them in.
One size kind of fits all.
It's extendable.
It's extendable. But quite easy to fit. Didn't cost an awful lot of money. So you're using a drill with a very slim drill bit.
Yeah, very fine drill. Just to get a little... You can't... It's plastic. You need a restart on it. That's enough to get you started.
So this is a really lightweight net and it's not got an awful lot of weight into it, and this bar is just the job. And the way we're fitting it, yeah, it is extendable, but the way we're fitting it, if we want to clean the windows or to let more light in the winter, we can take this down.
We can just lift it up.
We can.
Clip in there if I hold it steady enough. Yeah, just do a wee bit of fancy stuff here.
Okay.
You don't need the little bit. Oh, and clip in there. Yep. On there. Done.
And look at that. Instant privacy.
Ta-da. Ta-da.
So I thought I'd just show you what I'm doing today. John is outside painting the outside wall of the house, and I've had a request for him to make some Scottish broth. So this is the mix that I use. It's got split peas, lentil, pearl barley. There's a little bit of dried leek in it as well. But what I do is I put half a bag, if I want a pot of soup, half a bag into water, and I just rinse it. And if I just show you why I do that, it releases all the starch, so you can see that the water is not clear. And then I'll just drain that off, and I will fill my lovely old Prestige pressure cooker. Thank you, Mum. About 3/4 full, well, about half full, and I will half full of water, and I'll put the Scottish broth mix into that. Bring it to the boil, turn it off, and then I'll start preparing my veg. And what do I put in this? Well, I'm not a purist, so there's onion goes in it, and there's carrots that goes in it, and that happens every time. But I've also got sweet potatoes, so I will peel and process them and pop them in as well. If I have any other kind of bits of veg, I'll pop them in too, and they'll get boiled up again. So that's a second boiling. Turn that off and leave it. That'll cook it through, and then I will put in the stripped pieces of chicken that I keep in the freezer from whenever we're doing a chicken roast, and that makes my chicken go further and there's no waste, and it just adds that extra bit to my Scottish broth. Almost forgot. Now, you might want to make your own chicken stock. I frankly have more to do in my life than stand there and boil chicken carcasses to make stock. So I just buy ready-made stock cubes. These are chicken ones, and I pop two and just crumble them into the mix and get on with the rest of your life. If you're a vegetarian, you can get vegetable stock cubes. So I've got 3 medium carrots, 1 sweet potato, and 2 onions, chopped up quite fine, and I'm just going to add them to the soup and then bring it to the boil again. So you can see that this has got a bit thicker, and as the split peas and the lentils and the pearl barley soak up the liquid, it will get thicker again. And I've left myself, I'm now at about 3/4 of the way up on this pressure cooker. Now, the onions and the carrots will release a little bit of liquid, but I will have to top this up so you can see it when I'm happy with it when it's finished boiling. I'm quite pleased with that, and it's now time for me to add in the defrosted, pre-cooked chicken. And then I'll boil it up again, and then that will be the last boil. Now, I'm not going to add salt to this because John's not allowed any salt at the moment, but I will add a tiny little bit of black pepper, and then it will be ready, and we can have some of it this evening, and then I'll cool it down, and the rest will be popped into containers to go in the freezer. Dead easy, dead cheap, really nutritious. Can't go wrong with that. So John and I have had a think about the whole disappointment of the solar panel grant that we'd applied for. All is not lost, and there are more ways to get what we want. So we might have to look at going private, and the outlay for going private for solar panels is considerable. However, we could consider doing solar thermal. So what that is a solar hot water system, which is very efficient. And we're sitting at the moment looking through some proposals, and hopefully in a future video we'll be able to give you an update on that. So just to clarify, what we're looking at is evacuated tubes or solar collectors on the roof to provide not 100% of our hot water, but a considerable amount. And most of the electricity that we use here is either for hot water or for cooking. So that would make a considerable saving for us, and we would still have some form of solar, which we're very, very keen to. Now, the company who gave us the quote and the grant funding application for the solar panels don't do solar thermal, but we're looking at other companies in Scotland. So if you're watching this and you're a company in Scotland that does solar thermal, solar hot water, please do get in touch with me if I don't get in touch with you first. But that's where we are with it. So we've not shelved the project. We are looking at alternative methods of using solar. So I'll keep you updated.